Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the New Jersey Coalition for Financial Education's webinar series. Today, we have a very special presentation, a primer for student aid in the upcoming school year. My name is Michael Drulis. I'm the executive director for the coalition, along with my associate executive director, Ryan Berger, is here today. We are very pleased to have this program. We have a great set of speakers. So we'll go through just a quick next slide, please, Ryan. Want to start by thanking Affinity Federal Credit Union. They're our sustaining premier sponsor. Because of Affinity, we're able to host these events at no cost for those who want to join us. And I believe we have Grant Gallagher with us today, who is not only a member of our board, but with Affinity Federal Credit Union. Next slide. So at this point, I'm going to turn the program over to Ryan Berger. Ryan.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really happy that we were able to gather here today for this important subject. Certainly want to start by thanking our event sponsors and people who helped make NJCFE possible. Of course, we mentioned our premier sustaining sponsor, Affinity Federal Credit Union, but I also wanted to mention America Saves, Raritan Valley Community College, Stockton University, and Jumpstart, of which New Jersey is the state coalition for the national organization. And certainly we have to thank our executive leadership, certainly our board of directors, our chair, Kimberly Cole, our vice chair, Patricia Burhow, treasurer, Tracy Rimple, secretary, Grant Gallagher, and our other board members, Christy Beardjohn, Douglas Pettix, and our teacher representative, Glenn Gamble, as well as our immediate past chair, Marianne Ivanko, Michael, and myself. So just to briefly review our agenda for today, we're in the middle of opening remarks at the moment. We're going to hear briefly from our teacher representative, Glenn Gamble, who will start kind of sort of the introduction for our student aid and FAFSA presentation by HESAA. We're very happy to have him today. This is going to be followed by a Q&A session. We want to make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. If you would please put those questions in the chat, we will make sure to read them at the end. So just to briefly go over NJCFE's other partners, we certainly have partnered with the state of New Jersey, Department of Education, other state and federal entities in the past, like I mentioned, Jumpstart as well, and certainly Navcor Solutions, Stockton, McGraw-Hill Credit Union, Rutgers, the FDIC, America Saves, Raritan Valley Community College, NJ Saves, and of course today, HESAA. Very happy to have them.
And Ryan, new to that list would be the Internal Revenue Service, correct?
Absolutely. And I will want to mention at the end, but we do have a save the date for our next webinar, which will be partnered with the Internal Revenue Service on that. So we're very excited.
So folks should be encouraged to attend, and don't worry, we're not going to ask for your social security number coming into the webinar. We're glad to see the IRS is starting to do marketing again, and they reached out to us for a New Jersey contact. So Ryan, I want to move quickly through this just because we should get our program started.
Absolutely. So just to quickly talk about our impact, and I'll skip through just to say that, yes, we've had, throughout many years on NJCFE, we've had, hundreds of thousands of contacts, including weekly financial literacy tweets and website hits, and our webinars that we're very excited to present. We tend to have, I think a pretty decent crowd today. I think more and more are coming. But that, our webinars, this webinar, as you see, is being recorded and will be put on our YouTube page later in the day. And just to say, generally speaking, if you like what you're seeing and you want to get more involved with our coalition, we always appreciate volunteers, donations, and people getting involved in any way is always out.
Ryan, if someone would like to get a CEU certificate today, how should they do that for the participation?
We will be putting in a Google form in the chat. We'll also be sending out an email to all those people who signed up with a form to fill out if they're interested in getting a continuing education unit for today. All right, and I want to just briefly hand it off to our teacher representative on the board, Mr. Glenn Gamble, who has been, uh, years working in this field of financial literacy, financial education, most recently at Plainfield High School, as well as Orange, the Township of Orange before, and Old Bridge as well. And I want to just hand it over to him. Some brief remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Ryan. Welcome to our webinar on free application for federal student aid, also known as the acronym FAFSA, or pronounced FAFSA. My name is Glenn Gamble. I am a teacher representative to the board of directors for the New Jersey Coalition for Financial Education, also known as NJCFE. Today's webinar is being facilitated by the Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, also known by the acronym HESAA and pronounced HESAA. Whether you're considering college or trade school, the FAFSA is one key resource for your financial decision making. Again, welcome and enjoy the presentation from Carla, Sharon, and Andre.
Well, thank you, Glenn. I'm going to pull up my presentation. Okay, well, again, welcome everyone. My name is Carla Donegan. I'm a program officer at the Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, also known as HESAA. Joining me today are my colleagues, Sharon Austin. She's the manager of training at HESAA, and Andre Maglione, our beloved leader. He's the associate director of student financial aid services here at HESAA. So today, what we wanted to start off with was to give you a very high-level overview of all of the different financial aid opportunities here in the state of New Jersey to pursue higher education. A little bit of background on HESAA for those of you who don't know. We are the state agency that administers higher education financial aid here in New Jersey, and our mission is to get this information out to students and families about the financial resources that are available for New Jersey residents to pursue their education beyond high school. So one of the things that I find very interesting is that people don't seem to be aware that financial aid for college here in New Jersey is available to all New Jersey residents, or I should say all eligible New Jersey residents, regardless of their age. So it's not just for 18 to 22-year-olds. So what I wanted to start off with was a little brief overview on the programs that are available to what we call an adult learner. And an adult learner would be anyone who does not take that very traditional pathway to college, straight from high school on to college. And there are 3 programs available to that adult learner. Now, all of these programs hinge on the applicant being a New Jersey state resident. They have to have been a resident for 12 consecutive months prior to applying for financial aid, and they do have to attend a New Jersey community college or institution of higher learning. So there are 3 programs available to adult learners. The first is the New Jersey College Promise, and this is a game changer for adult learners who thought that they couldn't afford to complete a degree. I'm going to talk about this program in a little more detail in just a moment. The second one is the tuition aid grant, and this grant has been available for a long time, and it is one of the most generous grant packages in the country. New Jersey is very generous with the financial aid that we offer. So depending on an individual's need and the institution that they choose to attend in New Jersey, they could qualify for up to $14,000 a year in state aid. Now, the third grant the scholarship that's available at HESAA is the Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship. Now, this is a really interesting program because it is the one program that provides recipients the opportunity to complete a certification or an associate's degree. but a certification rather than degree completion. And I am going to talk about this in a little more detail as well. But these three are available to the non-traditional learner. Now, the New Jersey College Promise is made up of two separate programs. I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you, but I don't want you to get too much into the weeds. I'll kind of point out what's really important to remember. What's important to remember is the College Promise is set up on a two-tiered program. The first step for your college studies is to attend community college. You complete your first 60 college credits, you get your associate's degree, and then you transfer over to a four-year public university if you wish to complete your bachelor's degree. So this program is designed to provide financial aid for individuals who are studying for their first associate's and or bachelor's degree. And the funding vehicles, the Community College Opportunity Grant is for the community college. The Garden State Guarantee is for the four-year university. Not so important that you remember that. Just remember that it's a two-tiered program, starting at community college and ending at four-year university. Now, the New Jersey College Promise is an income-based program. So depending on your income, you could qualify for different levels of financial aid. And the beauty of New Jersey State financial aid is that you can qualify for one or more state grants and have all of that financial aid bundled up to provide you with maximum financial aid. It's really a unique system. So the New Jersey College Promise will cover tuition and fees, minus other grants and scholarships. Again, it's all bundled up. So for individuals with an adjusted gross household income of less than $65,000, their tuition and approved fees are fully covered, both at community college as well as at four-year university. So notice I say household income. So if someone is married, filing jointly, it's what shows up on that 1040. So $65,000 or under, tuition and fees are fully covered. We also have a second income tier for individuals with a household income between $65,001 and $100,000. They'll receive 50% tuition assistance at community college, and at four-year university, they're guaranteed to pay no more than $7,500 for the year in tuition and approved fees. So that breaks down to $3,750 per semester. And finally, the state actually offers financial aid to individuals with household incomes between $80,001, excuse me, and $100,000. They'll receive 33% tuition assistance at community college, and at four-year university, they're guaranteed to pay no more than $10,000 for the year in tuition and approved fees, which is $5,000 per semester. So as you can see, the state is very generous in providing financial aid for learners who would like to complete their degrees. And there's only one form that needs to be filled out, as Glenn mentioned earlier. It's the free application for federal student aid. That is the key that unlocks the door to financial aid, both on the federal side as well as the New Jersey state side. And again, these programs are for people who are studying their first associate's degree and or their first bachelor's degree. Another very interesting and exciting program is the New Jersey Dreamers. In the state of New Jersey, we do not discriminate based on citizenship status. So our New Jersey residents who are not documented may qualify for state financial aid. They will not qualify for federal, but they could qualify for state financial aid if they meet three eligibility requirements. The one is that they attended a New Jersey high school for at least 3 years. Number two, that they graduated from a New Jersey high school with a diploma or they received a GED. And the third requirement is simply a checkbox on the application stating that if I can legalize my status, I will do so. Now, these individuals, unlike what I just said, that everybody fills out a FAFSA, well, these individuals cannot fill out the FAFSA. The alternative is that they will fill out the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid application. And this application is used by the state of New Jersey only to determine financial eligibility for financial aid. So I told you there's a couple steps that I was going to point out that you need to remember when it comes to financial aid. The first is to remember that in the state of New Jersey, anyone with a household income less than $100,000 will qualify for some form of financial aid to go to college in New Jersey. Number two, if they earn a household income less than $65,000, their tuition and approved fees could be fully covered. Number three, they either have to fill out a FAFSA or the alternative financial aid application. And number four, and this is a step that often gets missed, is that once you have filled out your FAFSA and the feds will do their magic and notify you of what you might qualify for with federal student aid, they'll send that information, the FAFSA information, over to the state. We'll do our calculations and we'll send an email stating that your financial aid package is ready. Now, where you can find out about your financial aid package, your state financial aid package, is in the New Jersey Financial Aid Management System, what we call NJFANS. And in here, you're going to find your packages and you're going to be able to manage your financial aid. And this is an important step that a lot of people miss. You need to advocate for yourself on your financial aid. The colleges are there to administer it, but they're not there to advocate for you. So you have to take control of your own financial aid, and this is the way you can do it. Okay, so I want to switch back again. I did speak about the one scholarship program that's available for individuals who are interested in completing a certification or potentially an associate's degree. The Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship is available to women and minorities who have an adjusted gross household income less than $60,000 a year. They can qualify for up to $2,000 per year for 2 years to study for certification in one of these, what we consider construction-related programs. And I say construction-related because when you look at the different programs, you can see that some of them are really only loosely connected to construction. So I think that this is a phenomenal program that is very underutilized. I love the idea that individuals could study quality assurance technology. They could study technical studies. There's just a lot of opportunities here, kind of outside the construction industry. So they would attend, scholarship applicants would attend either a New Jersey technical school or a New Jersey County college. Now for this program, they do have to fill out a FAFSA, and there is also a separate scholarship application. At the end of this program, you're going to have my contact information. Rather than have you fumble around the website looking for that scholarship application, if this is something that interests you, please just contact me directly and I'll make sure that you get the application. So now I'm just going to spend a minute or two talking about some other grants and scholarships that are available for the more traditional high school student going into college, right? That 18 to 22-year-old population. So for this population, the New Jersey College Promise, they absolutely qualify, as well as TAG, the tuition aid grant, and the Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship. But there's a few other programs that I just wanted to touch upon that may be available to high school students. The first is the Educational Opportunity Fund, and it provides financial assistance and support services like counseling, tutoring, developmental classwork to students from economically and educationally disadvantaged areas. Now, this program is administered by the schools themselves, but it's definitely an opportunity to check out. New Jersey Stars. Now, this program, New Jersey Stars and New Jersey Stars 2, has been around for a while. New Jersey Stars is a merit-based scholarship, and it offers individuals who have graduated in the top 15% of their high school class free tuition at community college. Free tuition at community college. I'm just saying that for full effect. Okay. So if you're in the top 15% of your high school class, please make sure that you take advantage of the New Jersey Stars. Now, once you've completed community college, if you have a 3.25 GPA and you continue on to a New Jersey public four-year university, or excuse me, a New Jersey university, you could qualify for New Jersey Stars 2, which offers $2,500 a year for 2 years to help you with the cost of your bachelor's degree. And finally, the Governor's Urban Scholarship. It's also a merit-based scholarship. It offers the top 5% of students in urban areas a scholarship to help offset their college costs. So think of cities like Camden, Hoboken, Vineland, Newark. Those are the types of cities that would qualify for the Governor's Urban Scholarship. Okay, so if you want to know the one place where you can go on HESAA's website that pretty much gives you all the information you need, it's on this page that says everything you need to know about New Jersey State financial aid. What I love about this page is that it has a link to the FAFSA, so you can go here and complete your FAFSA. It has the deadlines. It has various scholarships and grants that are available, and it's all right here in one place. And one other little tidbit, actually two little tidbits. There is a flyer attached to this web page that you can download. It's the 5 steps to student financial aid. It's a great checklist to make sure that you're following all the steps that you need to be successful in applying for financial aid. And also, there's a link to attend HESAA's monthly webinars. HESAA hosts webinars to help with FAFSA completion. And I believe, Sharon, you might be able to verify this for me. I believe we hold 2 per month during FAFSA time, 1 in English, 1 in Spanish. Is that correct?
We are actually going to be holding at least 5 of each.
Oh.
We're going to do the NJ Dreamer in English and Spanish. We're going to do the FSA ID only in English and Spanish. Then the whole financial aid process in English and Spanish. So we have a whole robust. I actually sent it over this morning for it to be posted.
Wonderful. Okay, so now you know where to find this. Now, I do also want to let you know that in the state of New Jersey, the state offers 6 high-need career field loan redemption programs. If you have family members or friends or you qualify, please check out the link here and take a look and see if you might be able to take advantage of these programs. The first one is the Primary Care Practitioner Loan Redemption Program. It offers primary care providers who work in high-need areas. So a primary care provider would be a medical doctor, a DO, but it could also be a dentist, a physician's assistant, a nurse practitioner, certified nurse midwife. They could qualify for up to $200,000 in loan redemption for up to 6 years of service. This one is currently open. The nurse faculty is not open right now, but what it provides is up to $50,000 in loan redemption for nurses who opt for an advanced degree in nursing and agree to teach at a New Jersey university to teach nursing. The third one is the John R. Justice. This is for public prosecutors and public defenders to help defray the costs of their student loans and to encourage public service. There's no set dollar amount for that, and that opens, I believe, in November. There is currently a STEM loan redemption program, and this is for young professionals, individuals who have graduated from a New Jersey university since 2018 and has established a STEM career in New Jersey. They could qualify for up to $8,000 in loan redemption. There is a behavioral health care provider loan redemption program that's scheduled to reopen October 1st. And this offers people who provide direct behavioral care at either a governmental-ish entity or a nonprofit. It offers up to $150,000 in loan redemption for up to 6 years of service. And finally, for young teachers, there's a teacher loan redemption program for teachers who work in high-need areas and in high-need subject areas. There's $20,000 for that. So one last thing I wanted to bring up. The state of New Jersey is really trying to encourage families to set aside a nest egg for their families for higher education. And the New Jersey Best 529 College Savings Plan is the program offered through the state of New Jersey. And what makes this a little bit unique is some of the extra bonuses that you can see. So it's simple to open an account, only takes $25 to open the account. And it can be used for more than just tuition. Tuition in college, I should say. It could be used for grammar school tuition, high school tuition, trade school, apprenticeships. There's a whole open options of what you can use the proceeds of the 529 for. The earnings grow income tax free. And if your precious recipient decides to move to Paris and learn painting from Pierre, you can transfer the savings to another family member. Now, for families who have a household income less than $75,000 a year, there's a matching grant opportunity where the state will match up to $750 on your initial deposit. And in the New Jersey state, you can receive tax deductions for contributions up to $10,000. Finally, with everything, all the other benefits aside, if the recipient goes to school in New Jersey, depending on how many years the account's been open and how much money is in the account, the recipient could qualify for an additional scholarship over and above the amount that's in the 529. And that's if they go to college in New Jersey. Now, of course, this 529 college savings plan can be used if the student goes to any other school outside of New Jersey. The money doesn't have to stay here. But if they do stay here, there's a little added bonus. So I'm going to ask Sharon and or Andre to jump on and speak for a few minutes about other financing options for college. So Sharon, do you want to take it away, or is Andre on?
I'll take it away. I think Andre is already at his next meeting.
Okay.
So thank you. That was awesome. All of the programs. Oh, so we're going to talk about New Jersey class right now. Okay. So I was preparing myself for FAFSA. So for the New Jersey class loan, I'm not sure of the slides that you have, Carla. Do you have several slides, or it's just the one?
It's just the one slide.
Okay.
So just a general overview, and maybe some on the federal loans too, if you could.
Okay, so for the federal loans, when you're looking at federal loans, when a student applies for FAFSA, you have to be a citizen or eligible non-citizen, and those students are also eligible for the federal sub and unsub loan. So the subsidized portion of the loan, of course, the interest is paid for by the federal government while the student's in school and during deferment periods. The unsubsidized portion, which is at least $2,000 of the $5,500, is responsibility of the student. So the student is given the option to either pay that interest while they're in school, or they can choose not to pay until they graduate. So we highly recommend that the students pay while they're in school or only accept the subsidized portion. Because what happens is that interest accrues and becomes principal, and accrues and becomes principal, and that debt grows. And that's not what we want to see students do. But sometimes it's necessary. But all students in that category are eligible for $5,500 first year, $6,500 sophomore, $7,500 junior and senior year. Okay. So that's basically the federal loan program. When they graduate, though, there's different repayment options. There's income contingent. There's pay as you earn. There's different ones that are out there in consolidation programs for students to be able to pay back their loans. So after, college is expensive, so $5,500, depending upon how much money the student receives, is probably just a little bit of money. So they may need to get an alternative loan or a gap funding loan, we call them. So New Jersey has the New Jersey class loan. That loan is for any grade level. The students can go ahead and they can apply going in to any school in the state of New Jersey, or anybody attending a school in New Jersey, or a New Jersey class can be taken out of state to any school as long as it's a New Jersey resident. So interest rates vary based on the repayment term that they choose, and then they have an interest rate that's fixed for that repayment term, 10, 15, or 20 years. So parents have to have, or one borrower on the loan has to have a $40,000 a year income and a 670 credit score to qualify up to the balance due minus cost of attendance. So that's our New Jersey class loan. Along with that, we also have a tax benefit. So anything that a family pays, if they make under $200,000, that family can write off up to $2,500 a year in interest and principal off their New Jersey state taxes. So it's a great program for New Jersey residents all the way around. We also have a Refi Plus program, which can refinance not only New Jersey class loans, but other alternative lenders, Sallie Mae, higher interest Sallie Mae, Discover, Citizens, PNC, whatever the case may be, Parent Plus loan, to a lower interest rate for 10 or 15 years. And then we have a New Jersey class consolidation loan, which is for those with debts over $30,000 can get 25 years to repay their loan at a weighted average, or those with over $60,000 in New Jersey class debt can get 30 years to pay back that debt. So it's looking to either shorten it, pay it off quicker, or kind of lengthen it to help it get along a lot better. Okay.
Sharon, so I thought the one last thing that we would cover that Glenn had mentioned is the FAFSA, because
Yes.
there has been so many questions and so many changes. Now, I don't happen to have any slides, but I was hoping maybe you could talk just a little bit about what is the FAFSA, what's going on with the FAFSA, how do I manage the FAFSA?
So it's been a very, very interesting 24-25 with all of the changes in the FAFSA. I did see the question in chat where there has been problems. Are they being accepted? There has been a catch up, I would say, in the delay in the FAFSAs that were filed. There still has been a lot of problems and a lot of things that are being resolved as far as the 24-25 FAFSA. But basically, I was just trying to look up on NCAN. And if you don't know what NCAN is, it's the National College Access Network. And you can look up your state, your city, your high school to see what the FAFSA completion rates are for that area. But anyway, we are very close to our numbers for last year, and we are in the middle of processing and fixing any issues that HESAA has because of the new format and all of the problems. But there were issues with bringing in federal tax information. The biggest issues were the federal student aid ID At this time and going forward, each person on the FAFSA is considered a contributor. Each contributor has to have their own federal student aid ID. That includes students have to be citizens or eligible non-citizens because it's their FAFSA. Parents can be citizens, eligible non-citizens, or undocumented. So if a parent is undocumented, they would have to go through a knowledge-based identity process, which really was one of the biggest problems in the FAFSA this year. But they've removed some of the restrictions on that to allow the FAFSA to be completed, whether they have gone through that verification or not, and then follow up with the parent, undocumented parent for identity verification through other means. So HESAA is doing a lot of FSA ID, Federal Student Aid ID sessions, trying to help families get through that process to be able to complete their FAFSA and get that done. So for the 24-25 academic year, the deadline has already passed for fall and spring, which was September 15th. That is always our deadline for new students or students who didn't receive a grant last year for the full academic year. If that deadline was missed, then families can still apply for the FAFSA or New Jersey Dreamer application by February 15th to get spring only. So that is where we're at now. If a student missed or is going to school spring only, they can begin. They can still get their FAFSA done until February 15th for this current academic year, but for spring 25 only. So now going forward to 25-26, what the federal government has decided that they were going to do is they were going to not make any changes to the FAFSA. They were going to just kind of keep fixing everything that's still a little bit array, and they're going to have a very soft launch of the 25-26 FAFSA. So beginning October 1st, there is a very small, meaning hundreds of students in the country who are going to be able to start to file their FAFSA. Those students, they will start fixing and tweaking and taking care of the issues. Then going forward, they're going to move to thousands of students and institutions and the state agencies. They're going to expand it. Then by December 1st is the verbiage that the federal government is using. The FAFSA will be full blown for the millions. So hopefully that's going to avoid a lot of the issues that happened for 24-25 with that rollout of the 25-26 FAFSA. Okay. So that's the FAFSA. For the New Jersey Dreamer application for 25-26, there was no issues for 24-25. For 25-26, it's going to be released on October 1st, and students are going to be able to apply if they are undocumented. Okay, so there's no federal student aid ID. There's only the student having to register to be able to complete the application and do what they need to do. So hopefully this is going to be a better year. We're going to do a lot more in the spring, and then everybody's going to kind of move on to next academic year. That being said, I know that Carla mentioned some deadlines. The deadlines have been extended May 15th to June 1st and so on for a renewal student. So that's a student who received TAG in the prior academic year. So for students in school now, their deadline for renewal will be April 15th. That's it. So we're not going to extend it again. It's April 15th for students who received a grant last year or this current year. And then September 15th for students who did not receive a grant, whether they weren't or weren't in school. Okay. So that being said, we also have deadlines for completing the applications and things like that. So that's October 1st and March 1st for either the full academic year or spring only. Okay. So I do have a question in chat. How will the first student group be notified that they can start completing the FAFSA? So FAFSA has reached out, or federal student aid has reached out to different institutions. And they have reached out to different populations. So there's a application process for areas. So I am unsure and don't feel comfortable saying who that's going to be, but I do know that they released a survey for students or for schools who would like to participate, with their students being in that first tier of students to apply. Okay. So it will grow from there, and it is a process where they decide who those schools and those students will be. Also, I did want to really quickly mention, I don't know how much time I have, because I could talk for hours. Yeah, help
Me
myself.
too.
I am the training person. So there is also a new law, a new initiative for FAFSA completion for the next 3 years for the graduating class, high school graduating classes of 25, 26, and 27. So it's kind of a pilot program, but it's in law, where students are required to complete the FAFSA or the New Jersey Dreamer application or sign a waiver that they have completed the FAFSA, New Jersey Dreamer application or waiver to graduate from high school. So it's a high school graduation requirement. That is going to be run by the Department of Education in New Jersey. We are assisting them with that, with all of these webinars and workshops and outreach to the schools. So if you are a high school or you work with the high schools, we also have what we call a data sharing agreement. That data sharing agreement is found on our website under Apply for State Aid, Champions of Higher Education. I'm sure Carla can send this out to you afterwards. But that data sharing agreement will allow the schools to send us their students' names, date of birth, and their zip code to match with either the FAFSA or the Dreamer application, or be no match, so that schools can follow up with their senior class to see who they have to chase down and work with to have them do this. So it's really a great benefit, because all students will have to face the FAFSA one way or another, whether to say yes or no. But they will be given the absolute opportunity to apply for aid and to be able to take advantage of everything that's out there for them as a New Jersey resident attending a New Jersey institution. As Carla showed you, all those programs are available and they're fantastic. We have very huge success with them. So, and Carla could send my information and Andre's and all of that. So we're always here to help anything that you need. So.
Yes, and I will be sending out a follow-up email that can be distributed with all the participants. Another piece that I will provide is, as I mentioned, the 5 steps to financial aid. I will be sending that, as well as the list of eligible institutions here in New Jersey. I think that's important to be an educated consumer and to know, which university or college you're looking at and what financial aid options are available should you attend there. Now, Sharon, I'm going to ask a question, because I don't know if we have any people here who have not completed a FAFSA, but what the heck is an FSA ID and why is it so important, and what do I need to do to make sure I don't mess it up?
Oh boy. Okay. So the FSA ID is the most difficult thing about filing for financial aid. It is a identifier of someone's identity. So when you are completing the FAFSA and you're creating this ID, you're basically confirming your identity with the Social Security Administration, with Homeland Security, with a bunch of different other federal agencies. If you have a Social Security number, you don't have the Social Security number, you'll go through a different process, but everybody's identity has to be confirmed to have a complete and valid FAFSA. So the most important thing to do when you're creating an FSA ID is you must use your legal name as it is on your Social Security card. You must have your date of birth, you must have your social security number, and you must have your own very own email address that is used to create a secure connection with you. Without a social security number, then you must use your permanent mailing address. So one of the most important things about this is you have to go through and you create a user ID and password like you do anywhere else. You have to have challenge questions. There's also a backup code. You have a phone number that is, you verify them. You have to verify them. So one of the most important things is that families will write everything down because they may be named Jonathan and they put John on the FAFSA, or their legal name is Jonathan and they put John on their signature, or whatever the case may be. Everything has to match identically. And also when a student is doing this new FAFSA, everything is role-based. So I can't see your information. You can't see my information unless I let you. So the student logs in with their federal student aid ID and password. In the middle of the FAFSA, they have to invite their parent to contribute to their FAFSA. They have to invite them by using the same exact identical information down to spaces, dots, capitals, lowercase. Anything on the way that the FSA ID was created has to be identical on the invitation to invite that parent. So it's super sensitive. Like if you have Drive, like you live on Lakeview Drive, if the parent created it with DRIVE, they have to invite with DRIVE. They can't use DR, they can't use DR period, they can't do any of that. So it's extremely important, especially when you have an undocumented parent who uses their address to confirm their FSA ID, and the student has to have it identical to invite them. So that's so important. It's one of the most important things about completing the FAFSA. And that's a great question, Carla, because that's where we have the most mistakes and the most frustration. And also there's a backup code in case you forget who you are, you forget your name, you forget your address, you forget your phone number. That backup code is your absolute to be able to retrieve your ID. That ID is used to sign your FAFSA, which is a legal document, to sign your loan applications, which are legal documents, to get into your federal student aid ID to go into repayment on your loans. It is going to be with that person forever. And if they change their number, they change their email, they won't be able to get in. So they need to be able to have that information that 10 years ago, I created it with this email address. And if you are a parent with multiple students, you have to use the same FSA ID. So you have to write that down because you might have set 10 years in between kids and then you forget what you used. And then it's really very, very difficult to retrieve it. So yeah, it's a big deal. The FSA ID is the big deal. Once you get into the FAFSA, it's not as difficult, but that is the most difficult part.
Yeah, I remember telling my kids to tattoo it, but I'm being silly. But yeah, just make sure you have that information in a very safe place. My one son took a couple years off between college and then he decided to go to graduate school, and we were looking everywhere to try to find his FSA ID. But I don't know how I got red all over this, but I'm going to stop sharing on that. I will also share the presentation as well. So yes, so Ryan, I guess we're ready for any other questions that anybody might have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Please, I'm glad that you did answer the questions that were in the chat. I wanted to just ask now if anyone had any additional questions that they would like shared while we have our speakers. And certainly you saw that contact information has been shared. So, you know, I'm glad that you'll be able to reach out to our speakers in the future if need be. Just wanted to put the call out for any participants or board members, anyone has any additional questions. Now would be the time to put them in the chat. Like I said, I'm glad that we did have some good questions asked and answered.
I'm going to add my information in chat as well.
And I'll put it, Sharon, I'll put it on the presentation too before I send it out to Ryan.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, there were a few questions.
So comments here. We do have one question. Oh, yes, from our vice chair. How does it work with the money for construction certs? Does it matter if it kicks in first or second?
Do you want me to answer that? Or you got that, Carla?
You have at it, Sharon, or I can do it.
What happens is some of the programs or a lot of the programs are Pell eligible. They might not be eligible for state grant programs because they're not a associate's or bachelor's degree. Some programs are associate's degrees, so they'll have federal and state aid first, and then that will be included in their whole package. So I guess when you're saying it kicks in first or second, federal and state aid always kicks in first. So dependent upon the school that they're at and the program that they're in, that will always go first, federal and then state, and then this is part of the state, but that will be up to the $2,000 depending on their costs.
Right. And for the student, I don't really want you to get bogged down in who's paying what first. Just recognize that it's a scholarship and it's available, like you said, $2,000 per year for up to 2 years towards a certification. You may very well, because you file your FAFSA, as Sharon said, you may qualify for some Pell money. You won't qualify for the College Promise, however, because unless you do opt for the associate's degree portion of the New Jersey Gives. But if you're just going for the certification, it might be some Pell money and it might be the scholarship money. Okay.
Sorry, just want to make sure I was unmuted. If there are no other questions, I want to say thank you very, very much to our speakers for this great information, this important presentation. Thank you again, of course, for sharing your contact information, for saying you're going to share this presentation. We'll make sure that all participants who signed up with their emails will get a copy of this. But thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan,
Thank
will
you.
this presentation be available online and promoted through our newsletter?
Absolutely. As we've noted before, this presentation is being recorded. So we will share this on our YouTube page as well as through our newsletter and on our website. So I just want to quickly finish off with two things. One, we have a save the date for our next webinar, October 23rd. Is a Wednesday, 4 p.m. Our IRS tax credits webinar. This is going to be with the Internal Revenue Service. This is as much as I can put at the moment because their promotional materials need to be approved. So we have just the save the date at the moment. And I also was asked to put the caveat that if there is in fact some risk of a government shutdown around this time, if that happens, we will have to reschedule. And I was asked to provide that. So, but just save that date for the moment. And like I said, we'll be sending out flyers and emails and things once we have them. The other thing I wanted to do is send over the the form for our continuing education unit. So I want to make sure everyone has that. I will also be emailing this afterwards for anyone who's just dropped off. But I want to make sure that it's in the chat right now so that everyone has it. So just put that there. All right. I'll give everyone a minute to save that. Like I said, I'm also going to send out via email, but please fill this out with your name, email, just some quick questions on how helpful this webinar was. Any comments, any suggestions would be very much appreciated. And again, I want to thank everyone for coming to this, everyone, especially again to our speakers for providing this very important information, everyone who asked questions for providing a great dialogue. So thank you. Michael, if there's anything else, please feel free to add.
No, you got it all. We'll see everyone in October.
Thank you so much. See everyone in October.